10 science-backed, research-backed ways to cut calories. No internet fluff, no nonsense, no noise, just science and some little tricks and behavioral tricks that you can use to cut some calories really quick. Number 1, drink your coffee or your tea black. All right, so the National Health and Evaluation Survey found that those that consume coffee or tea black ended up consuming between 40 and 50% less calories throughout the course of the day. Okay, that means artificial sweeteners, that means adding almond milk, that means adding cream, anything. Even though it might just be a crutch for you to get through the day and you need to add a little bit of cream to get your coffee down, well, give it some careful consideration because 40% increase in calories is 40% increase in your waistline. So you definitely want to be cognizant of that. Number 2 is kind of an obvious one. Add more fiber with breakfast. Why are we doing this? Simply because it satiates you throughout the course of the day, but also because it slows down the carbohydrate absorption throughout the rest of the day. The American Heart Association had found significant decreases in instances of heart disease and weight gain in those that consumed between 10 and 20 grams of fiber with their breakfast. Simple trick, but it's something that you may want to employ, even if it's just a little bit of psyllium husk added to your morning smoothie. Carbonated water or things like Zevia instead of soda. Okay, what exactly is Zevia? Zevia is a carbonated water that's sweetened with stevia, all right? And there's some interesting facts when it comes down to stevia in the first place. The Journal of Dietary Supplements found that supplementing just a small amount of stevia before a meal actually showed a decrease in the blood glucose after the meal. What that means is stevia is actually helping us utilize our carbohydrates better so they're not just spiking our blood glucose. Now, carbonated water in general is going to be probably the best bet. You obviously want to replace your soda with just carbonated water if possible because then you don't have any natural sweeteners or any artificial sweeteners that are acting as a crutch. Additionally, although some may say that carbonation is not good for us, you do have an effect of satiation. It bloats you a little bit, which means that you're less likely to go and eat more food. It's a simple hack, but it's something that I do all the time. Get hungry, I drink a little bit of carbonated water, it fills me up, I definitely don't feel like eating for a couple hours. The next one is to eat protein throughout the day. Okay, I'm not talking about consistently grazing on protein. I'm talking about adding a small percentage of protein to every meal that you eat. Okay, even if that means a little snack, even if that means you're normally just gonna have a tablespoon of almond butter, add a little bit of protein powder with it, or add a little piece of chicken, or maybe a little bit of egg. There have been multiple studies, including one from the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, that found consuming resistant starches along with whey or along with proteins dramatically, and I mean dramatically, reduced the impact of carbohydrates, but also reduced the amount of calories that were taken in on average over multiple weeks. This next one, again, is kind of obvious, but I want to dive in a little bit deeper. That is to simply watch your salad toppings. And let me get down to how it works. Okay, when you combine fats and carbs, you are not doing a good thing for your body, spiking insulin and allowing carbs and fats to get shuttled into the cell, leading to storage. What do we normally put on salads? Normally, we put things like ranch or we put normal salad dressings that almost invariably have oils on them. That's fine and dandy, but then we have to watch the toppings, okay? So then we're adding things like cranberries, then we're adding things like cherries, then we're adding things like fruits, all of these things that spike your insulin a little bit, all these little things that cause the fat from the salad dressing to go right into storage. So if you're going to put some salad toppings on your salad, you want to make sure that they are high fat, low carb, and combined with the kind of dressing that you have, i.e. ranch is going to be higher fat, so combine that with things like almonds. Don't combine a sweet balsamic with things like almonds, for example. This next one comes from our friends at the Perelman School of Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. And this is something that can only really be applied now in modern day with technology. All right, and that is simply ordering your food ahead of time. See, I was just recently out in Arizona and I found it kind of interesting. The people that I was out there with really like to order their food ahead of time. That's something that I've never really done before. But I actually noticed the impact of it and I noticed the positive benefits right then and there. But obviously the Perelman School of Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania backed this up years ago. By ordering food before you are hungry, like with a mobile app or calling it in, you can dramatically reduce the amount of calories you typically take in. In fact, that study that was done by the University of Pennsylvania found that there was generally consumption of 30 to 40% less calories when you ordered ahead, generally right after you finish your meals. So if you're traveling and you're gonna be on the road or anything like that, try using a mobile app or try picking up the phone and calling ahead so that you know exactly what you're gonna eat and you're setting yourself up for success. This next one gives us all a reason to keep our kitchen clean. So researchers at Cornell University's Food and Brand Lab found that those that kept their kitchen clean made much better food choices, simply because you were able to think clearer, almost putting your mind in a meditative state where you're able to organize the food that you're eating. You're actually able to even weigh out your portions because you're not dealing with clutter. You see, clutter does a lot of things to our mind. It triggers a lot of neurotransmitters that can cause us to make impulse decisions, and it can actually increase cortisol levels, which mean you're acting out of a fight or flight response versus out of true intention. So keeping the kitchen clean makes a big difference. And if you need something to back that up, that Cornell University study took a group of women in a messy kitchen with newspapers and paper plates everywhere versus women in a clean kitchen, and found that the women that were in the messy kitchen consumed twice as many calories from cookies as the ones in the clean kitchen. This next one comes from the Journal of Public Health Nutrition, and this one's simply eating at home, okay? Not only does it save you money, but it's also proven scientifically that most people that eat at home 5 to 6 days per week consume about 150 to 200 calories less per day. That doesn't sound like much, but when you factor in that 3,500 calories make up a pound, it doesn't take long for 200 extra calories a day to add up to a pound, and then 2 pounds, and then 3 pounds. Not only are you saving money, but you're also doing yourself a behavioral favor by getting in the right pattern of eating at home and making sure your calories stay a little bit lower. This next one is to swap out your cooking oils. Okay, so this day and age, we have the opportunity to use cooking sprays that don't contain a lot of negative chemicals. There's even cooking sprays right now that have coconut oil as the main spray. If you start subbing out your cooking oils at the right time, you can reduce your calories by 120 to 240 calories in just a given meal. Another quick tip, if you want to get more out of your cooking oil and not have to consume as much, is to use something like coconut oil or macadamia nut oil that has a little bit of a higher smoke point. So it's not going to burn off quite as fast. So you can get away with using maybe a teaspoon or two instead of a full tablespoon to cook up your stir fry. This last one is my favorite, and that's why I've saved the best for last. Okay, we all know what stress eating is. We all know what sympathy eating is. Heck, my wife used to say that she knew what sympathy flexing was. When we were sitting at like a bodybuilding competition and she was seeing people flex all the time, she would just constantly flex her abs almost out of sympathy. We are a product of our environment. So if we're sitting in front of the TV and we are watching something like an action flick or something that's high energy, we are that much more apt to eat fast. So our same friends over at Cornell University's Food and Brand Lab found that those that ate dinner in front of the TV watching action or drama movies, get this, consumed 65% more calories than those that didn't. So you can see the gist here. It's not just about making food choices. The ones that have the bigger impact on calorie consumption are much more mental than anything else. But at the end of the day, it's a combined effort. You have to make the right food choices, you have to be educated, but you also have to apply a little bit of psychology. And you have to understand how we operate and how our reward systems work. So as always, keep it locked in here on my videos. And if you have any suggestions on nutrition topics, exercise topics, or even live feeds, post them in the comment section below and let me know. So do make sure that we read those. We want to make sure we're providing the best value and content to you. See you in the next video.